Let's now look at the Oklahoma City Thunder for their fantasy check-in. Russell Westbrook's doing what he does. The free throws are a genuine concern for Westbrook, hitting just 63% of those from the line over the last 6 games. This is a thing that plagued him all of last season, and it looks to have continued on to this season with Westbrook, who is at 63% now for the season, significantly worse than the 74% he was at last year. I think we just have to assume this is who he is now. Dennis Schroder, the 97th ranked player over the last 2 weeks, 17, 3.5, and 3.5 on 42%. The setback of Andre Robertson and his knee, I think, helps Schroder maintain that back-end standard league value, but Westbrook's return has obviously impacted him, while MC Hamidou Diallo and Terry Ferguson, when they come back, that will also impact Schroder. So I think that in a 10-team league, he's on that drop list. In a 12-team league, he's really on the borderline there. Paulie George has been solid but unspectacular, just doing what... It's spectacular enough, but it's just doing what he does, while Steve-O Adams, really one of the worst free throw guys in the NBA as well, 43% over the last 2 weeks. Jeremy Grant, I think, is a solid add for 12-team leagues. He has very limited upside, but he provides that value. Think along the lines of a Taj Gibson from last season, a guy who's just going to give you solid, consistent 100 to 120 type value with no ability to push into the top 70, but probably unlikely to fall outside the top 160. In saying that, he's the 138th ranked player over the last 2 weeks, averaging 12, 4.5 with 1.3 blocks, half a steal, and 52%. He's also hitting a 3 a game, which is really positive for him to be able to do that at 37% also. And if you need defensive stats, Nerlens Noel becomes a great streamer, a steals and blocks guy who is a top 150 player in the last 2 weeks, based purely on those defensive numbers. He's not doing too much more than that. Then Alex Abrines as your 3-point streamer, who's hit 2 threes a game over his last 4 games. And getting that boost with Diallo and Ferguson also sidelined. Not much else to talk about in terms of guys rising. I do like Diallo, though, who was putting up some really strong numbers before his injury. He's an interesting deeper league guy, and I think that they should be looking to prioritize him even over Terrence Ferguson and obviously over Timothé Luwawu-Cabarrot. So he's a guy to watch, but that's more for deeper formats for the Oklahoma City Thunder.